Hello and welcome back to EclipseClan. We are picking up a little ways after we left off. There's actually been another small update. It looks like it was just a hotfix, a few things they meant to get in the last patch since then. But it was definitely an interesting one. And before we really get into today's episode, I just want to go ahead and rectify a few things here. So everyone agrees that the kit should just go to ClanGen. So Warm Kit is where he belongs now. And it seems the idea of keeping Short Burn as leader was popular, so I'm going to go ahead and still do that. But some recommended also trying... Oh no. Can we just get rid of that? Okay. It looks like we can't get rid of the apprentice's paw status, same with the kit. So I think that's probably just going to have to remain. That can become kind of a reminder about where the cats are and what stage of life. Because I think Shortburn as a cat kind of likes the idea of getting to name cats to be accepted properly into the clan under her image of them. So I think that's probably at least partially why we'll rename cats like Molly and Morbius to be accepted. So that's just my thought process there. And let's see here, what was the other thing I was gonna do? Now, I tried this before and it worked. One commenter recommended to make it feel more fitting for the leader to only have one life. We actually can kill them. Okay, so there's an option to take all the lives. I may just have to do this 7 times. But then we'll get Shortburn down to 1 life and then we won't even have to be tempted about, oh, but that was something we could help or similar. Okay. It was a little time consuming going through all 8 lives, but we are formally down to 1. So our leaders will only have the 1 life. And this is going to be a very... Even though the stakes are exactly the same, this is going to be a lot more anxiety inducing for me. Because there's just every possibility that Shortburn just dies in a time skip, and then that's it. So, without further ado, speaking thereof, we're due for a time skip. Inspired by Rushpaw's boundless energy and courage, Mulebranch names him Rushreed and welcomes him as a full medicine cat. Patchpaw touches noses with Gustclove and hopes that they'll get to hunt first so they can make sure the clan is fed. Dawnpaw silently swears to ClanGen to do their best for the clan as they touch noses with Morbius Fang. Hocus Pocus's dislocated joint has been popped back into place and is feeling much better. And Luckblink travels to Willow Clan to resolve some recent hunting disputes. So we'll just go down through here. And we'll have to take a look at the kits and get them reassigned to the proper cats. Let's see here. Well, I guess apprentices now. So Shortburn's status this moon is promising to take care of the clan. So given that, I do think I'll go ahead and give her both of Honeytrot's kits. This could also be her practicing for her own. And because of that, she'll take them out hunting today. Gustclove is feeling underappreciated. So here's Rushreed. She is 50 moons old when she got her medicine cat name. She's adventurous, a great speaker, and a talented swimmer. Stickpaw is hoping their name will end in Claw. Maybe not a good look for Mediator. Claw Splinter is rethinking their life choices, so Maybe there's some regret about joining the clan or taking one action over another there. Bubbling Whisker is practicing with some clanmates. Patchpaw turned out to be righteous and is quick to help, is thinking about how awful kitty pet food must taste. And Dawnpaw is confident, also quick to help, and feels disappointed after a miscatch. I think Shortburn's still going to be pushing this, so we'll have those get mediated. And Sickpaw can practice with 2 random cats. Also something I just noticed when I was going through this to double check relationships with the apprentices to mentors and such. Dawnpaw here has a little crush on Stickpaw, and Stickpaw does have some return feelings for them. So I'll take these 2 out training. Shortburn wanders past an old badger set in the roots of a hazelnut tree, only to freeze. There's a new scent here, acrid and sour. I don't know. She's bloodthirsty, so she'd probably be looking for a fight. But she's also by herself with 2 completely untrained apprentices, and while she's bloodthirsty, I don't think she's stupid. So they continue. Alright. Rush Reed's very first solo herb gathering patrol as a full healer. While we're searching for some specific herbs, Rush Reed is startled by weird sounds and whispers on the wind. This is a recruiting thing, so we'll proceed. Rush Reed, sure that's a sign of StarClan, follows a faint wailing. Instead, they find a queen who lost their life in a harsh kidding, their newborn kits clinging to a body that will never move again. Rush Reed instantly wraps himself around the kits and starts thinking about what they'll need to do to move them to camp. Salem's ghost now wanders. Boulder Kit has joined the clan, Gus Kit has joined the clan, and our reputation with outsiders has improved. So let's take a look at those 2. So here's Salem, the mother. She was playful and a fast runner. But we have Boulder Kit here, who's mealing quietly for milk. Looks like a Bengal pelt, sunlit ice eyes. And Gus Kit, who is also male, pale yellow eyes, and a single striped pelt. Lonesome and daring. We will go ahead and randomly name Gus Kit something else. Ooh, Gravel could be cute. Boulder Kit and Gravel Kit. Silpaw and Bubbling Whisker have a disagreement, look to Mollysock to settle the dispute. But Mollysock stutters, they don't think they're fit to lead the patrol. Our patrol discusses rumors that they've been hearing that there's a badger denning in a certain part of EclipseClan territory. Well, the only way to know is to check. Once they find the set, Morbius Fang scrambles inside for a look and comes nose to nose with its occupant. It's only by the grace of StarClan that they're able to redirect that speed to twist around just as fast, shutting for in clumps as the badger's furious snarling and fizzing follows them up the burrow tunnel. So it looks like these guys went after the badger that Shortburn ignored. And while it doesn't really seem like we drove it off, we at least know it's here. But I'd say that's a success all around, which means all strikes starting in are reset. Rumors reach our clan that the exiled Ripple Leaf has died recently. Ripple Leaf was Bubbling Whisker's sister and one of Swallowdrop's kits. She got hurt and then immediately failed the following role, so she unfortunately was exiled and is gone at 21 moons of age. Shortburn saved Bubbling Whisker from a big dog but was badly injured. Gus Clove and Sickpaw have gotten white cough. As we inspect the herb stores, we know some elderlies have gone bad. So this is kind of why one of the things I was talking about where the leader could just be totally hurt or even die in a time skip event. And it just feels lackluster somehow, but if that's what happens, that's what happens. Unfortunately, that's something that we'll probably see and we'll just have to tackle when we get there. Morbius Fang does not like peak fur. Boulder Kit and Gravel Kit showed up a lot in this one, it looks like. Okay, let's take a look at our cats here. Shortburn is eavesdropping on Boulder Kit and has a broken bone. Okay, so she's gonna be down for, what, 9 months? Luckily, she's the leader and she has the ideal trait, so she can afford that, but if that had been any other cat, we may as well just kick them out now. Let's see. Boulder Kit grew up a little bit here. You can better see his dapples. And Gravel Kit actually looks like he has tiny little black paws. We'll have to see how that changes. And then Gus Clove and Stickpaw both have white cough and can't work too. They don't have any existing strikes. We'll have to see how long they're sick for. Stickpaw has a good trait, and Gus Clove is a deputy, so especially if Shortburn's not feeling well herself, she may be more lenient, or they may just get kicked out if white cough goes to the 4th moon mark. This is going to be a very interesting time because if any cats do want to make a bid for leadership, Shortburn is at her most vulnerable. And all the sick cats are eavesdropping on one another. Rushreed is offering to help the queens with badger rides for the kits. Since we really just have Boulder Kit and Gravel Kit here, it's honestly pretty probable that Rushreed is kind of taking on an adoptive role for them. We do have the option to make her formally adopt them, but I don't think we're going to do that. Rushreed is still very young. Luckblink and her daughter both are wondering about Gravel Kit. Bubbling Whisker is feeling down. He was directly the one that was saved by Shortburn by the dog, so he probably feels responsible in some way or another for the predicament that she's now in. Morbius saying also wants to get to know Gravel Kit better. Hatchpaw saying about how cool they'll be when they're a warrior. And Dawnpaw had quite the adventure today. Since Shortburn's going to be down and out for the rest of their apprenticeship, I do think she would just turn over mentorship to somebody else. Let me take a quick look through some relationships here, the cats who are healthy. So I was just going through and seeing who was closest to Honeytrot and who Shortburn may trust. I did notice something else interesting in that Bubbling Whisker and Morbius Fang do have that little bit of like for one another. And I think that could be entirely Luckblink's doing. But I think she's probably going to push that a little bit more, and we'll see how that develops a bit. Okay, after going through our current options, I think we're going to switch them over to Peakfur. Peakfur was closest with Honeytrot, and Shortburn does like her. But I think I'm going to pursue this for mediating, since I don't really think Shortburn has a lot of desire to pursue her own relationships at this point, so Luckblink is basically going to get free reign. I mean, honestly, with both leader and deputy around, the cats are basically free to decide their own patrols. So I think they'll probably just kind of do whatever they want to do with whoever they want to do it with. It's a very rare opportunity they have. Mulebranch and Hocus Pocus go out alone together to collect some herbs. Hocus Pocus asks Mulebranch if they've been considering taking on another apprentice. Mulebranch switches their tail and asks what brought this on. They were honestly just wondering, Hocus Pocus explains, as they're not sure themselves when they want to. Mulebranch nods and says they've been thinking about it, but they've reached their herbs and have to pick them now. If we get any more medicine cat apprentices right now, half the clan is going to be healers. Mollystalk takes Siltpaw out to practice fighting techniques, and they have a good practice session together. Peakfur takes the apprentices out to see a big porcupine in one of the many glades of the forest. Patchpaw maintains that porcupines are prey, not weird transformed dead cats or anything like that, just prey. and Peekfur can't get them to take the training session seriously. They also distract Dawnpaw, and eventually Peekfur has to give up. The patrol hears distant howling and wonders whether to investigate the noise. Seeing as it's bold, adventurous, and loyal, I think they probably will. We track the noise and find a mostly stripped carcass covered in a scent of coyote. We scavenge what little is left and leave before the predator can return. So as we move into the 25th moon, Gustclove dies of white cough. The past moon, Gustclove has taken their place in StarClan. We mourn their loss, and our clanmates will miss the spot they took up in our lives. Moments of their life are shared in stories around the circle of mourners, as those that were closest to them take them to their final resting place. And there does seem to be an infection growing in Shortburn's broken bone. Gustclove dies of white cough. Hocus Pocus has gotten white cough, and Sickpaw no longer has white cough. We also notice some Dandelion has gone bad. Shortburn chooses Peekfur to take over as deputy, hoping Gustclove will approve. I do think I'm probably going to change that. I don't think Peekfur has the best qualities necessarily, even if Shortburn does like them. And to be blunt, I think they were only given that because per the last prompt, Sinbad's joining me now. As per the last prompt, there were no cats that had apprentices and therefore could fit deputyship position. So I think Peekfur was only chosen by the game for that reason. So I think we'll probably just go through and change that. But before we do, let's take a quick look in here. Sorry, I can't see what I'm doing because somebody is sitting in my way. Morbius Fang stole Shortburn's catch right out from under their claws. Well, I don't think Morbius Fang is getting it. But I do think that Gustclove will probably stay in the Dark Forest just because she was chosen directly by Shortburn to help with the challenge against her and then met Shortburn's expectations. So if we're going just by actions, then Gustclove fits here. Let's see though. Okay. So after going through some relationships here, Peekfur is nervous and is an unusually strong fighter. So those two things don't necessarily make for the best deputy of this clan. Unusually strong, sure, but nervous doesn't really present the same front that other traits like Bloodthirsty Vengeful would. Unfortunately, we don't have a Vengeful cat, and with Shortburn being the way that she currently is, there is a very real chance that whatever cat we choose now could take over the clan. As much as I like Morbius Fang and she has a good trait, Shortburn does not, so we would not be picking Morbius Fang. As a result, if we're going just based off of possible actions and good traits, Bubbling Whisker is actually our other choice. So I think we'll switch Peekfur back. Bubbling Whisker, who's feeling a sense of dread, gets the promotion to deputy at only 22 moons of age. Now, Shortburn is swearing that the clan is plotting against him right now, and is probably wondering here if some of the medicine cats aren't properly taking care of her because her bone has gotten the infection, and if they're just using this as a natural way to get rid of her. I was also going through relationships, and actually Shortburn has a pretty good romantic interest in Claw Splinter, of course, but also with Hocus Pocus. And while hers is clear on this end, Hocus Pocus has some feelings returned, of course, but also has jealousy, dislike, and trust. Or, I'm sorry, dislike and jealousy there. So, I definitely think that there could definitely be some underlying tensions against Shortburn in the Medicine Cat Den. Although Morebranch really likes her. Okay. Yeah, River? What's River want? I also think I'm just gonna make our two elders a couple here, because they both have at least some like for one another. And I think they deserve happiness where they can find it. And I think Luck Blink and Mulebranch will be practice for Stickpaw this go. I should check that. Dang. But Stickpaw is still hoping their name will end in Claw. Claw Splinter is currently learning more about Downyblur. Morbius Fang wants to get to know Rush Reed better. Silpaw has been training very hard recently. And Patchpaw asks Silpaw to train with them. Dawnpaw wants to get to know Peekfur better. And the kits are being kits. If you hear any banging, that is Sinbad's tail going against the window. He is hunting a bug right now. And he's doing a great job of it. I sent these two out on patrol, and Morbius Fang notices some suspicious paw prints and mud beneath the canopy. It leads to a trespassing rogue, and we quickly set up an ambush that sends the rogue fleeing off our territory. The patrol wants to hold a training session for Dawnpaw, and we decide to focus on tree climbing. By the end of the patrol, Dawnpaw is leaping from branch to branch as nimble as a squirrel. As we spread out the hunt, Silpaw admits that they think they had a vision from StarClan. Mollysock takes Silpaw aside, giving them the full benefits of their seniority and experience as they discuss the vision. Time to see what happens when you skip. Okay. Sickpaw has proven themselves skilled at handling the clan's disputes. They are given the name Sick Nettle, and the clan honors their new mediator. As the clan cheers for the new warrior, Siltstripe, Luckblink purrs loudly. Their kit is finally a warrior. A new journey has begun for Siltstripe, and Luckblink knows that Siltstripe's courage will lead them through anything. Shortburn announced that they are expecting kits. They choose to continue their duties as usual for now, being that they are currently in the Medicine Cat Den anyway. Mollysock was climbing a tree and got a splinter from one of the branches. Now, I'm genuinely curious about whether or not one of Shortburn's love interests is, you know, responsible for the kits. I guess we'll have to see. Because I do also have it selected that cats can have mates outside of the clan as well. But since she's got two possible love interests, it's really hard to say. I will say I'm very surprised because she currently has a broken bone that is infected. So hopefully that infection clears up sooner than later. I know we are going into Leaf Bear, but I don't think pregnancy and a broken infected bone are going to be good combinations for her. She's feeling underappreciated right now. Bubbling Whisker is relaxing in camp. I think as deputy he gets the ability to choose whether or not he wants to go on patrol, and this sounds like he doesn't want to go on patrol. Branch is insisting everyone eat chamomile leaves at Moon High. An interesting trait, but chamomile is a relaxation herb, so maybe to help sleep, who knows. Hocus Pocus is still sick with white cough, but He's only been sick for 1 moon, so he's got a couple more. He's thinking about taking on a new apprentice, though. Rushreed is staring off into space. Here's Stick Nettle. She has a marble pelt and pale yellow eyes. She is cold still and a great storyteller, which is probably really good for mediating in this clan, because a lot of the mediating they're doing outside of the clan is just to try and manipulate the relationships with those clans, so being a great storyteller isn't a bad quality there. Peekver is still wondering about Gravelkit. Hatchpaw had a very strange dream. Interesting. Dawnpaw is watching and learning from Gus Clove. Sweetie, I don't think you are unless you're visiting the Dark Forest in your dreams, which is not an impossibility, I suppose, but I would imagine it'd be Honeytrot, if anything, there. Gravelkit is asking the Medicine Cat about StarClan, and Boulder Kid is refusing to take their nap. Oh, and here's Siltstripe. He turned out to be adventurous, a talented swimmer, and has steady paws. He's currently eavesdropping on Molly's stock. So he just has a neutral nature, but nothing bad there. Stick Nettle's kept cold, which is a good nature. I do think I'm gonna make these two mates. They have compatible natures, they both like each other a little bit. And let's see, their relationships with one another is pretty dang good, I would say. Yeah. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad move at all. Both of our medicine cats are unable to find herbs, which doesn't necessarily bode well for it being leaf fall. And Leaf Bear is just on the horizon. The Dawnpaw spies a fat rabbit on the other side of Butterfly Clan border. It's a tempting opportunity, but it may not be wise to hunt on a different clan's territory. We do have to antagonize here. It's a tempting opportunity and a perfect one. Dawnpaw pounces on and swiftly kills the rabbit, intentionally leaving evidence of their deed behind. That will show Butterfly Clan. As the patrol heads out into the forest to hunt, Siltstripe seems to be absolutely unconcerned with their duties, ambling along as if the prey is going to waltz into their paws. Siltstripe doesn't bring home much, impressing no one, so that's a strike against Siltstripe. So Shortburn is unsure of how many kits they'll have. They don't believe they can efficiently perform their duties while expecting and move into the nursery. But Shortburn's infection is gone, as is Hocus Pocus's white cough. Siltstripe's tail was badly injured by a dog. Molly's sock's cut has healed up nicely. And we notice that Lungwort has gone bad and will have to be replaced. But Hocus Pocus confesses their feelings to Shortburn and they have become mates. Hocus Pocus believes they're meant for something greater. So these two prompts showing up together is a very interesting thing. It could genuinely believe that Hocus Pocus believes that they're meant for more in this place than just healing, and is using becoming mates with Shortburn as kind of a push for that power or influence. It's really hard to say, but after that it seems like a pretty good chance that Hocus Pocus is the father, but we'll have to wait until next moon to know for sure. Oh. I was just about to say, it's also interesting that the infection only goes away when Hocus Pocus comes back on duty. And he is accusing Rushreed of not taking care of cats properly. High negative effect. So that could very well be the cat that he is referring to, being Shortburn. And Shortburn did feel like cats were conspiring against her. And we're formally into Leaf Bear here. Bubbling Whisker overslept. Hocus Pocus is ensuring all duties are taken care of. Rushreed is exploring unclaimed lands while searching for herbs, which means she is probably going farther than necessary to get herbs intentionally instead of going to known spots. That may be quicker. And Luckblink is negotiating with the kitty pet to make use of the herbs in their two-leg garden, probably on behalf of Mole Branch there. Signal is wondering about Peakfur. Peakfur is trying to breathe deeply to no avail. So it sounds like she's probably having some extreme anxiety of some kind. Claw Splinter is healing down. It could very well be because Shortburn chose Hocus Pocus as mate first. I guess they could technically still become mates. But they did have a closer relationship with Shortburn, and now that probably feels undermined in some capacity. So Claw Splinter is probably feeling a little under the weather about that. Morbius Fang does not want to go on patrol with Patchpaw. Siltstripe is wondering if we were given any prophecies lately. He has a mangled tail. Once that gets to 4 moons, he is actually 3 moons. Because he already had a strike. He had better hope he heals up quickly. Yes, and bad? I think I'm just like a rotating cat cushion right now. Because he'll come over and say hi and then leave, and then River will come over and say hi and leave. And then he comes back, rinse and repeat. Yeah. So I have no idea how much like meows and purrs are gonna get picked up this episode, but probably a bit. Patchpaw is curious about other clans. Dawnpaw is planning on bringing back a lot of patrol. A fresh kill from patrol. Boulder Kid is wondering what it would be like to be a loner. Maybe because of his mom, or because of the constant threats for getting kicked out of the clan. Okay, well now you're just laying on the microphone. What are you doing? I do think I'm gonna have to move you from there, boy. Sorry. I know, you're really intent on using a microphone as a pillow. Okay. And Gravel Kid is asking about how kittens are made. But because Shortburn has so much affection for Claw Splinter, and it's pretty mutual, I do think we'll just make these guys a throuple. Now these two don't necessarily have strong feelings for one another, but we'll try and make it work. I think Luckblink will focus on emphasizing that for right now. And with that though, just focusing on the throuple, we have really reduced negative feelings that Hocus Pocus was harboring. Not perfectly, but it's reduced, and sometimes it's all you can ask for. So Hocus Pocus goes out to look for some herbs, but when they arrive back at camp, they're shivering cold. Digging into leaf-bare ground in search for garlic bulbs that weren't there was both unproductive and senseless. But he tried. It's probably more Rushroot's gonna do. So because we don't really believe in StarClan and this isn't one of the prompts to bring in new blood to the clan, we'll antagonize this. We feel hounded, never given a moment's peace, and we hiss the StarClan cat. When we turn around, there's only a rather upset-looking clanmate there to fetch them to help with an emergency. It's usually what it seems to be whenever we antagonize on that. The two brothers have a disagreement and look to Peakfur to settle the dispute. And surprisingly, Peakfur does manage to skillfully smooth over any disagreement. I say surprisingly because she's nervous and I feel like she would be the kind to stutter in face of familial anger. We patrol. The patrol discusses rumors that we've been hearing that there's a badger denning in a certain part of the territory. We try to find enough bits of undergrowth in the nearby forest to block the opening to the set, but the area is pretty bare. Before we know it, we're tired, thirsty, and returning home with nothing to show for it. So that is a strike against everybody there. Think we'll go one more moon to meet the kits. So Shortburn had a litter of 3 kits and refused to talk about their progenitor, so maybe it wasn't Hocus Pocus after all. And rumors reach our clan that the exiled El Crackle has died recently. Now because Shortburn has mates of Hocus Pocus and Claw Splinter right now, they would probably all be viewed as the kid's parents anyway, so we'll take a look at that here in a second. But Shortburn had her litter, and Bubbling Whisker's tail was badly injured by a fox. Patchpaw and Mollysock take an early evening patrol out of camp to watch the moon rise. Interesting. We'll scroll through this really quickly. If the cats were closer in age, I'd say it's romantic, but I don't think that's the intention there. It's probably just meant to be a cool experience that they can do. See these kits. So we have Bittern Kit, Rain Kit, and Oak Kit. Rain Kit is the only female. So if you look at the family tree, it does show all 3 cats as parents, but Hocus Pocus and Claw Splinter are both listed as adoptive. So Shortburn apparently just had a fun time with another cat, and now everyone's taking care of these kits. I do think I'm gonna change Oak Kit's name to Sky Kit and Bittern Kit to Storm Kit. And then we've got Celestial / Rain / Sky themed kits for Shortburn there. And Storm Kit has heather blue eyes, a single stripe pelt, which is long and is nervous. Rain Kit is noisy, female, pale blue eyes, and a goody pelt. And Sky Kit has amber eyes, which will be interesting with this almost blue-gray, a 2-color pelt, and is a daydreamer. So, very interesting combination we ended up with there. So, Bubbling Whisker has a mangled tail and already a strike. So, kind of like Silstripe, you better hope that heals up quickly. So, Hocus Pocus is ignoring his own well-being in favor of treating other cats. He does have shivering and is foregoing food. Rushery wants to get to know Peekfur better. Luckblink is wondering what Shortburn is thinking. Sicknell accidentally made an argument worse. I wonder what it means that Luckblink is wondering what Shortburn is thinking. It just feels like that sounds kind of disapproving. Like, what were you thinking? But it could also just be genuinely wondering what she's thinking about now that she has kits. Peekfur is getting some sparring in. Orby is saying is eavesdropping on Shortburn's kits. On Paw is showing us someday making their clan proud. Boulder Kid is frightened after hearing a scary story. And Gravel Kid demands to be on the next border patrol. Ooh, so Rushery decides we need some blackberry leaves. She carefully edges out onto a slippery frozen rock, trying to get closer to a branch that's still green. But they overcompensate, losing her balance, falling into a deep snowbank that they emerge from with a deep shiver racking their body. Rushery's gotten frostbite and is currently down for the count. So since Hocus Pocus is already shivering, I'm just going to keep him in camp because I don't want all of her 3 medicine cats to have problems and end up with conditions that make them unable to work, and then we're stuck without healers in the middle of Leaf Bear. We have a great hunting patrol, and everyone is really enthused about it and gets praise for focus and enthusiasm. Ooh, this is a new one for me. The patrol notices a commotion and finds 2 squirrels chasing each other across the forest floor. We'll proceed. The squirrels are so distracted that the patrol is quickly able to catch them both. Awesome. So that gets rid of the strikes against the other 3 that had them. And I think we'll go ahead and leave that off here for today. I've been recording for about an hour, and we've gotten about 10 more moons, maybe. It's been a quiet episode compared to last time. Definitely a lot more injuries, but we also have more relationships and more gets, so I'd say all in all it's successful. Next time we will see the Gravel and Boulder Kit duo growing up into apprentices, and maybe Honeytrot's kits made into warriors even. Their experience levels are definitely getting up there. So we'll do that next time. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and I will see you then. Bye.